I wasn't sure if I should film this video because it features some knockoff products, but I wanted to share some affordable alternatives for some of these popular mini watercolour palettes that have been floating around. All the palettes shown in this video are under $10 or £10. So if you're looking for a watercolour palette on a budget, or maybe you're just looking to start plein air sketching and don't want to invest too much money just yet, then this is the video for you. So this is a plastic watercolour palette. It feels quite sturdy, and inside it's got 12 different colours you can put in, and then obviously it's got a bit of mixing space there. I don't really like pans that are all stuck together because you can't just switch out individual colours and mix and match. So yeah, that's the biggest mini palette I've got. It is still a bit on the chunky side, but compared to my old setup, it's way more compact. If I just set it up like this, everything is in one place. It does fit inside the zipper box, but then there's not much room for anything else. The second one is this wooden palette. I sort of regret buying it because I don't think it's super useful for travel. It's a bit too thick. When you look at this big palette, it's slightly thinner, and for me that just means it's easier to clip onto my sketchbook. Like if I want to use it on the go, I would probably just take a clip and then clip it on like that, and it's pretty secure. Oh well, it's pretty secure if you stick that down, which I didn't, but yeah, this is just easier to clip on. With the wooden palette, it's just a bit too thick, so it doesn't stick to my magnet that strongly. Like this is a magnet, it just falls off. But then in terms of clipping it, I can just about manage to clip it in, but if I get further into like the pages, it's going to be quite difficult. But you can fit 3 primary colours and then an extra colour, maybe like a brown or a Payne's grey, which is pretty cute. And then this closes shut with a magnet. I mean, it costs less than a coffee, so I think this definitely was a knockoff. For the price, I wasn't really expecting much, but I just wanted to see what it was all about without like investing so much money in a tiny palette that I might not use. So that's that. I think that might be a cute gift. And then this one was the one I was most excited for. So it's similar to the art toolkit, but again I ordered it from AliExpress, which seems to be this Nanaco watercolor brand instead. It's a similar concept where it's a very thin sort of like business card tin that's been repurposed into a watercolor palette, and the individual pans are actually, they're like eyeshadow pans, which you can also get off of AliExpress. I think direct from the manufacturers, these cost like 1 or 2 cents to manufacture. Mixing space is slightly in between the first 2 palettes, and it also comes with the options to buy these mixing trays, which are also magnetic. I've got my magnet clip here. I can just clip it on, and that's like extra mixing space. And I was thinking if I could just use 2 magnet clips, one for extra mixing space and then this one as well. And the good thing about this palette is because it's so skinny, it will fit, I think, inside this pouch quite easily. So I'll just, and it doesn't stretch the zipper or anything like the red one did. I could fit maybe a medium-sized palette because they do a bigger one, and it's still very thin, so that would be perfect as well. But I kind of wanted to challenge myself with using limited palettes. I also ordered a couple of mixing palettes which are slightly smaller. That also works if you want to separate the colours and make sure your different mixes don't get contaminated. On the back it says Nanaco watercolour. They do black, tins and gold as well in all different sizes, and I'm really liking it. Another thing I actually ordered was this mixing palette add-on. So it's got magnetic shut like that, and again it's very thin and lightweight. I've seen a lot of ring binder setups on Chinese social media actually, where they have these travel watercolor palettes that have ring binder holes and they just stick them in the book and then paint like that. I find it's really it's quite a cool setup, but I just don't like having rings in the middle of my notebooks. Although I keep seeing Filofax videos and it's kind of converting me, but the price is what's saving me from... I've got another one which is also a 6-colour palette. This one I guess is just like your traditional plastic watercolour palette. It's quite tiny and compact. So yeah, you can fit full pans in here, traditional normal ones, or your half pans, which gives you double the colours. It is a bit annoying with plastic palettes, you don't have obviously the magnet. You can kind of, I guess, clip it onto your sketchbook. And once you get further into your sketchbook, it might be difficult to clip it on, but it's a lot more lightweight than this wooden one, so it's easier to clip on. The final palette is this purple one, and this one actually, it has 12 colours. This, I think it's removable, but I can't remove it. It did come with a keychain, but it stank of chemicals, so I just cut it off and threw it away. I'm quite sensitive to fumes, so yeah, just a heads up on that. I think it will fit in this zipper pouch as well. I'll just give it a go. But it's slightly thicker than obviously the business card one. Like, these plastic palettes are still a bit bulky. Let me just test this one as well. I think, yeah, it fits fine, but again, when you close it, it's just a bit bulkier. And I mean, I say these are bulky, but in comparison to my old setup, it's still a lot thinner, so anything is an improvement. I quite like this kit from Daniel Smith. It's got 3 cold primary colours and 3 warm primary colours, so I'm going to fill it out in this palette. I've seen people use needles and stuff to get it even, but I don't have that right now. We're just going to have to innovate. And it's kind of working. Usually watercolour videos are so relaxing, and this is just not it. Okay, that's the finished Daniel Smith palette. It's super cute. It literally fits in my palm like this. For this one, let's decide what colours. So my camera died and my mum is mowing the lawn outside, so sorry if there's background noise. Yeah, I'm just testing out some colour mixes to choose the colours that will go into this palette. Something I've struggled with before is, like, I have colours and then when I mix them together it turns out really muddy, which I hate. So I feel like using a limited palette will really help me learn how to mix colours properly and just not get overwhelmed, because I don't know what is going on. I feel like the neon pink is carrying this whole palette. It just makes every single colour so nice. Whoever can make a pink paint that is not fugitive, they're gonna make so much money. But maybe it's just not possible. Oh my god, I'm really excited to paint with this palette now. So yeah, that's my final mini palette. It's got Ultramarine Blue, Titan Red, Cobalt Teal Blue, Indian Yellow, and Neon Rose. I'm still undecided on the last colour. If you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I'm probably going to spend like 5 years trying to decide what to put in the last slot otherwise. So we've got Indian Yellow, Titan Red, Neon Pink, Cobalt Teal Blue, and Ultramarine Deep. Because I've got this granulating Cobalt Teal Blue, there's a lot of texture in some of these colours, which I really like, but I know not everybody likes that in their watercolours. And then the Daniel Smith Essentials set that has Hansa Yellow Light, New Gamboge, Quinacridone Rose, Pyrrole Scarlet, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, and then French Ultramarine. And then these mixes are kind of smoother because the only granulating colour is this ultramarine. I've tried to do whatever is along this side, I try to add more of it to the mix. If you look at Quinacridone Rose mixed with Phthalo Blue Green Shade, that gets this purple. So these are the same 2 colours mixed together, but this one has more blue and this one has more pink. It's useful having a mixed chart to just see what kind of colours you can get, but it's really limited because obviously you have a million different shades in between. Like this is Ultramarine Deep and Indian Yellow, and you can get so many different like greens and yellows depending on how much you add of each colour. So yeah, this is a really limited view, but it gives you an idea of what you've got in your palette at least. I actually made mistakes on these 2 ones. I don't know if you can tell, but I stuck bits of, like, I swatched it on a different piece of watercolour paper, and then I just cut it out and stuck it over because I completely messed up the mix underneath. I really love this palette that I've created, and even the tissue paper that I've used to go with it looks really nice. Like the colours, I just feel really bright and happy. I really love this green, so I'm going to try and do some urban sketching with this palette. The Daniel Smith one is really good. I recommend it if you're just starting out with watercolours and you don't know which colours to get. I just feel like it feels a bit more special when you pick out your own colours. I can't wait to paint with my new setup, and I will try filming it when I do. So yeah, hopefully see you next time, and thank you so much for watching.